Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Queen's Wish. This is Colonel RPG, as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today. I do my best, Chef Ina says. We are in Fort Muck, I believe? It's got a silly name like that. And this place doesn't have a sage, according to what I've been told. These quarters have been set aside for you. You can use the bed to rest and pass time. No, I don't need to pass time. What are you talking about? It's just wasting money. Although, wait a minute. Maybe after you get all the mines in here, it's just gaining money. If the game doesn't have a time limit, then we have infinite money. If we can just sleep over there, whichever side of the bed you like. I mean, it's the wrong symmetrical division of the bed, but it's still a symmetrical division of the bed, sort of. Hi. The fort's cook, a plump, middle-aged woman, whisks something white in a bowl. She hums happily to herself. Her floral apron is stainless, like the rest of her kitchen. When she sees you, she stops whisking only long enough to curtsy. I have never heard that word over there. I'm sure it's correct, but it's just, I've never heard it. I'm Chief Ina, Prince. I will be at your service shortly. This is delicate and can't be delayed. What are you making? Meringues. Our soldiers love them. A simple recipe, but tricky. Yes, and my car is light, but heavy. Why are we feeding soldiers such extravagant, simple recipes that are tricky? I don't know what the game is trying to tell me here. It's just everything is conflicting. She raises her eyebrows at that. At your statement, or question, rather. The queen has always paid most particular care of her army. A wise choice in my estimation. An army marches on its stomach, as they say. Good food means good morale. Why is the recipe tricky? Her eyes light up at your interest. It's all technique. Only 3 ingredients. Must be whipped and baked perfectly, or all you have is a pasty mess. Oh, that word again. Although this time it actually makes some sense. She carries the giant bowl to waiting sheets of iron and hurriedly portions out dollops of the stuff. When the trays are filled, she rushes off towards a hot oven. Chief Ina moves around her spotless kitchen, stirring mysterious sauces in bowls. Can I taste that? Of course! She deftly produces a small, clean spoon, dips it in... That should be a comma. Come on. Come on. You're not even hiding it, game. I mean, I say you're not even hiding it as if I knew all along that the periods were there in lieu of other punctuation, but they weren't. This one is, though. This one is just there to make the sentences short, which is actually an important thing, by the way. It is, I think, I've personally found that when you're trying to write your best text, your best prose, when you're trying to make, I know how to write, I'm going to say the nicest things that people are going to be interested in, you tend to do very long run-on sentences. It's not even about the run-on sentences aspect of it, because a run-on sentence is specifically a sentence that has multiple sentences on it, and so it's like, and this happens after this because of that, and, it's all one sentence, but that's a run-on sentence. You can make big sentences that are not run-on. It's difficult, but I think that particularly is the sort of, at least it's my instinct when I try to write something nice. And so I personally have to sort of stop myself from writing long sentences and just purposely be concise with my thoughts, because that's the real trickiness. The real trickiness is writing short sentences that are interesting and good. That's where good writers show. Here, I think it was like maybe a way to... maybe that was like a translation pass or something, that the translator or the writer just decided, all these sentences are too long, let's just make short everything. And this it's probably the first one that I see where it's a period instead of a comma, which is a good thing that it is the first one, hopefully the only one. But anyway, she definitely produces a small clean spoon, dips it into the frothy white mixture, and proudly hands it to you with a smile, a wide smile. Hiccup, I'm sorry. I'm drinking tea today. Again, not for the first time in this Let's Play. That's mostly because Sometimes I don't wear socks, and I don't like not wearing socks. But I also, it's complicated. The reason why I drink tea is because I don't wear socks, even though I don't like not wearing socks. I'm as zany as the periods instead of comas. It tastes of airy sweetness and sophistication, like home. You can't. Of course. Can I have some to take with me? Ah, my prince, can I have all, if that is your wish? But this, period ellipses, or not period, space ellipses, she lifts the bowl. It must be baked to be portable, and the baking takes hours. She makes an apologetic shrug. With a sigh, you let it go. You have too much work, so you leave disappointed. I have too much work. I can just spend time right there. Game, come on. I realize you don't want to add, I realize you don't want to add gameplay features dedicated to a single option for a single character in dialogue, but at least come up with better excuses. I can wait, especially if it's for cookies. I don't know what that is, though. I assume it's like something like a cookie, but whatever. Report on the Ukadish today. For all their dirt, mud, and seeming simplicity, the Ukadish are not poor. I have very serious doubts about what that actually means. Poor in what? Exactly. Because they suddenly have... They're not pouring dirt, mud, and simplicity. Or rather, excuse me, seeming simplicity. I'm not really sure what that means. Why it seems simple, but anyway. Also that word. I've talked about that word before. Their fine iron crafts sell well throughout Haven and the known lands. Probably poor as in gold. Which they use for nothing, literally. So it's because gold is useless. Not to trade other things, but mostly useless. When Haven was in power, the Ukatish kept their independence by making sure a portion of their best weapons went to our empire. That is one way of using your trade thing. That's a really good explanation of I mean, I'm not really sure how they kept their independence, because they were literally vassals of us, I suppose. Well, you're still independent if you're a vassal state, but it's just, maybe, was there a threat that the Empire would just annex them somehow? Anyway, however, they have never forgotten the crimes committed against them. We should probably develop on that. What crimes were these? The Ukatish people are consumed with hatred and fear of outsiders. Yes, but what the crimes were? What were the crimes? They never forgave a slight, no matter how old. This seems like an apologetic text, which is obvious that it is from the beginning. We should have assumed that from the beginning. Also because every other text has been apologetic of the Empire, which makes sense, because it's written by the Empire, and also that's the tone of the game all throughout. It's just sort of like we need to see through the lies, which is kind of cool. I like that. And I've always liked that since the beginning, but this one is very obvious. They have no... It's not badly written, it's just... It's like... what crimes were these? Were they enslaved? I don't really care about how slights and old. What are these crimes? Were they genocided? Because that's sort of usually the sort of crimes that happen when we're talking about this sort of stuff. The kings and queens of the Ukatish in the home warren feed and exploit this rage to keep control. Yeah, but also what crimes? But sure, that is important. That's I think that's going to be the theme of this area. When Haven was a force on Sacramentum, the Ukatish fought to keep us out of their lands. Haven's mages and trained soldiers easily defeated the Ukatish swamp runners and forced the swamp to be open for travel and trade. The Ukatish hate and fear Haven, but not so as much as they do the Vol or Agrial. We might be able to deal peacefully with the Ukatish, but they will be sensitive to any slight. I have no idea what that text is supposed to say, and I really don't want to read about the treaty again, because they're all the same, and also they all have the same issues, where they basically are written vaguely as hell. And nobody addresses the fact that they're vaguely written as hell, and it's not a plot point, which it probably should be a plot point. It's like, haha, I gotcha, you're a vassal. But here he doesn't say explicitly who is going to take care of the roads. You know what I mean? Because... Anyway, well, it's been a while since we read one of those treaties. I'm not going to go back to them. Let's see what we have. Haven soldiers up here. That goes nowhere. And, in fact, this goes nowhere. We have a little bit of a port or bay. Yep, definitely. Some things going on over here. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And we're leaving. That way. Okay, now, where are we going? Well... Well, we have a mission. Why? We need to find that person that ran away. That's the one. Go north to the Foundry Clive to reclaim it. But also there was Jeremiah Bushwick. Probably wandering around somewhere near the fort. Well, that's gonna be interesting. Mati is good. Mati is good. Okay. So, it's gonna be weird as well, because we need to figure out what somewhere near to the fort means. Also, specifically... Oh, there it is. Foundry Clive. There it is. Why didn't I see that before? As you walk through these woods, you notice big, white, fuzzy things hanging from the branches above you. You look closer. They're bodies, wrapped in webs. You draw your weapons just in time. Predators, suspended from long threads of web, drop from the branches. Threads of web. Should be threads of silk, but because it's, you know, the web is the... You know what I mean? It's how... That's what web means. Not too shabby. I'll go ahead and get Battle Frenzy. And, I'll go ahead and attack you here. No, I ruined everything. I should have moved over there. I'm really bad. I'm really bad. I'm very sorry. Okay, let's do this. Because I want this one gone as soon as possible. So I think over there is going to be a good idea. Okay. A little bit of a bite, but an evasion, confusion over there. That was because of passive things, I'm pretty sure. I should have moved back. I'm not 100% sure why. Slowed. A bite for 2 damage. How dare you? How dare you? Shouldn't have done that either. Okay, a little bit more bacon. That is not an evasion. Oh, that is a dummy. I'm dummy. I'm the dummy here. Oh no, that's the... Oh, it's fine. We're just immobile. Not a big deal. Attack you back there, because that one can be attacked by Mario, and that one over there can be attacked by you, and hopefully we'll kill you. We will indeed. Ah, it was a miss. Oh, that didn't cost us anything. Good. In the chaos, a few of the bodies fall to the earth. You cut them open and find mummified mirelings. A few of them had coins looted from abandoned human homes. How do you know it was looted from abandoned human homes? Maybe they earned the coin themselves. I say as I drink my tea. I can't imagine how I would have known there were spiders in there. I don't think I would have. But we got money from there, so yay for that. So we are next to Foundry Clive. And also next to Slimes, but that's fine. That should be alright. Let's switch and attack you here. Pretty good damage. Can attack from back there. Pretty good damage as well. Not a miss. Fantastic. And now you can be hitten. Hitten. That's the new form of, new past tense of to hit. There we go. And then... I'm sure I'm not the first one to make that mistake, by the way. It sort of makes some sense, because to eat something, and then you say something is eaten. So it's to hit something, and then something is eaten. Does that make sense? In my head, it makes sense. I don't know what you're talking about. So we're going to go over here and do that. We're going to need a little bit... I'm not really sure what I'm going to do here with the heal, but we're definitely going to need heals. Let's get you out of the way. Let's eat this ice pudding. Ah, dang it. Okay. So did I press F to end combat? before, or does the combat end the moment you do this? No, it doesn't. We're good. So, move over here, get a healing wave. There it is. When the slimes have been sufficiently hacked, they fall apart. The ooze stinks into the earth. Not stinks. It sinks. It probably stinks as well, but that's a different thing. They leave behind some gravel. No, excuse me. They leave some gravel behind. A few rusty weapons. A couple skulls. And some gold coins. Yay, for more 15 coins, but not the skulls. We didn't get the skulls. And what do we have over here? Ukatish warriors. Not warriors, workers. You enter one of Haven's abandoned foundries. Soon, with your help, you can be smelting ore. Or it can be smelting ore, belching smoke into the sky and sending quality iron back to Fort Muck. There are even workers here. They are sitting by the nearby fire, eating a simple meal. Probably the same cookies that we were given before. They're waiting, though. They haven't gotten any work done. One of them, a young Ukatish woman at the far end of the camp, waves at you. You'll need to help us, she says. Zdenka is her name. There is a group of Ukatish workers here, crusted with mud, camped on the outskirts of the foundry. They aren't soldiers, but some of them have been sure to bring their spears. When you approach, they rise. They must have been waiting for your arrival. Their foreman, or forewoman, approaches. I'm Zdenka. Welcome, Prince. This is Foundry Clive. It is still, by treaty, the property of Haven. Okay, so what is the situation? We are ready to get to work. However, the barracks and foundry are still infested. Nothing we can handle. We'll need your help. And why are you here? We are of the Eek clan. Our chief sent us here. He wants us to work to provide iron for Haven. He sees advantage in this. She gives an uncaring little shrug, as if to say politics, but doesn't actually say politics. And if you were not a prince of Haven, you might actually assume that her shrug would mean that she doesn't agree with the advantage. Because that's what you would think. I'll repeat. She says, we are of the A clan. Our chief sent us here. He wants us to work to provide iron for Haven. He sees this, or he sees, yeah, let's just rephrase that. He sees this as an advantage. That last which is a shrug, the uncaring little shrug, you can only assume that she doesn't agree with it. Not that she doesn't care whether it's true or not, or that she thinks less of her chief for dwelling in politics, whatever she thinks that might mean, or specifically whatever my character thinks that might mean, because she didn't actually say the word. My character says the word. And for our character, it would make sense that he would have a very detached perspective of what politics means, because he doesn't have to deal with consequences of his politics. So for him, politics are just policies, which is a different thing, although related, obviously. Whereas politics is about power. Our character doesn't really lose it. It's the power, I mean. So, you know, that's where maybe the wiggle room there for him assuming that she meant, quote, politics, unquote, by her uncaring shrug comes in, where that wiggle room comes in. The workers try to look uninterested, but they are listening to your response very intently. So we have an option here. Havenite workers. That's the option that we're given. I don't even know why you would think that, but sure. We can ask for Havenite workers. Or we cannot. Well, I am glad to have you. The Ukatish look surprised. Apparently, they are used to people asking for Havenite workers, which is weird. Why would they want to work for us? As in, you know, like, why would they want that? Zdenka gives a little smile. We are good workers, she says. You will see. We just need the monsters gone. Yeah, I'll clear that up. I don't understand why they would want to work for the Empire. as opposed to doing their own thing in their own land. I think this. I hope it isn't, but I think it might be um, a sort of stand-in for 21st century work politics, where giving employment to the local population is a good thing for the local population. But the only reason why it is a good thing for the local population to give employment to them by outside companies, and I say companies here being the empire here being a stand-in for companies, it still works the same way as well. By the way, an empire is basically the same thing from an economical standpoint. But the only reason why in the 21st century that dynamic exists is because we have been deprived of all our sense of sense is not the word that I want to say, but like for the Ukatish, there's no reason why they would want to work for us because we have nothing to give them as a people, right? What would you like? The only reason why that would work is if we paid more here in this situation, and in fact, that is why it would stay. It would work as a stand-in for 21st century working politics or worker politics, because that's the reason why you want an outside company to give employ to people of the land or of your land, of your small community, is the reason because they're going to pay more than if you worked at any other thing. There's other economical reasons as well, because it's money coming from outside. There's a bunch of other things, but here in this case, it wouldn't be as relevant. And in real life, it isn't too relevant. That isn't too relevant because the money ends up being spent anyway in the community. Even if people are from outside, it doesn't matter. They're still going to spend the money there because they have to pay for houses and pay for food and goods and all that sort of stuff. But it's just slightly different. The point is, that doesn't work here for the Ukatish, as far as I know, because they own their mines. So if they don't, it's just yeah. Let me know in the comments if you understand what this means or if it makes any sense, because I don't think it makes any sense, which is a big letdown. But we'll hang on to that and we'll see if it does or not. Because I hope it does, because then it's going to be the first slave country that it's not slave country. What's the one? Vassal country that actually makes sense. But hopefully one of them makes sense. But let's see. Tell me about yourselves. We are iron workers, she says. The Ukatish make the finest iron in the known lands. Our clan chief asked for volunteers to help the Havenites. We came. Why? I ask, and she says, Lord Eek sees advantage for our clan in dealing with Haven. He thinks you will bring wealth. If this happens, some of that wealth is now sure to go to our families. Yeah, so it's good that she points it out, because she didn't need to point it out, because you can assume it. The thing that bringing wealth means is that they will be put in a higher stand in comparison to other families, to other clans. Clan and family is the same thing. So it's a matter of internal politics getting that leg up, which is, of course, very relevant and would be very relevant over here. But it still wouldn't... It has nothing to do with the fact that they work for us or not. Because us having... it's not... Me exploiting the work of their people for my own empire's riches bears no meaning on whether I like their clan or not. It doesn't matter. If they just gave me the mine, I'd like them. If they have workers, sure, it doesn't matter. Actually, if they give me workers, that's even better. It just doesn't make sense on that aspect. The other aspect, of course, would be for their own personal wealth, which just still doesn't make sense because they have mines. Why would they want to work for somebody else if they have mines? They just mine a mine that is theirs, and then they sell it higher profit. Or actual 100% of the profit, because if they have to share the profit with me, then I'm basically stealing from them. And it's just, yeah. Anyway, she says, if he doesn't follow through with this promise, he will not be our lord much longer. Okay. What are you waiting for? We did a little scouting, enough to know that the foundry is totally infested. Did you scout anything besides the foundry? We smelled fresh slime in the barracks. Got out of there fast. The fresh slime did. What is it? It wasn't the fresh slime that got out of there fast, but whatever. What is in the foundry? The foundry is full of giant slime balls, the rare, big, nasty sort. It takes a lot of hacking or fire to get rid of those. We can't do anything until those are gone. Yeah, any advice? Well, they're tough, but they're mindless. Try not to fight them when they're in a clump. They slide around at random sometimes. Pick them off when they're far from the group. Okay, I can take care of it. We hoped so. When they're gone, we can get to work. Okay, thank you. Zdenka, very helpful. But, not very... There's zombies as well. Not very encouraging, honestly. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Of course, it's going to be a while until we actually get to talk to Chief and all this sort of stuff, and that's where the real storytelling is going to happen. But for right now, I'm Conqueror RPG, and this has been Queen's Wish. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.